Oh, Aaron, thanks, man. Yes, I was talking. Thanks for thanks for noticing. Thanks for noticing, Aaron. It was actually muted. Let's try to go back and make a quicker brief, faster brief. We've seen last Friday that that firm, nice man. We have touched on that firm moving upwards, a bit of volatility in the beginning, but then a continuous move upwards, lateralization, upwards, lateralization. So it was interesting. I'm just curious because it was the volume was a bit lower from the usual, from the maybe the latest 10 to 15 sessions. So I prefer to see this kind of movement with much with a high volume. But anyway, it was enough to overcome, if you see here in the daily chart, to overcome the long-term downtrend line, the short mid-term uptrend line, and also the 200 days exponential moving average. So let's see what's going to happen today in this first week session. We have Powell speaking twice in the week, and also payrolls next Friday. So let's see what's yet to come. Today we spent all the overnight session close to the value area high that is around actually at 52.75. This region of 50 could be actually the first to be tested in the case of moving downwards. 50 was important. 50 was previously important. Last Friday it played a good role as well, so we could see something here. It would be the first point to be defended in the case we keep seeing the bullish move. What else? We have the pivot point here in the 4025. That is actually also an important region. So we should see just, excuse me, but I'll put this in the screen. The weekly newsletter I just released it. I could say that 20 to 25, 25 to 28 is an important region below 19 to 22 that was important, and also last Friday played an important role. So from 15 to 25, 28, things could be messy again. And value area low at 008.50 is definitely a point that I would be looking at as well. Since this region down here could be defended, and it would be important to remain above it to keep the possibility of the continuity of the rally. So let's see what's going to happen upwards. I would say that the 60 region of the 60 is important for me. It would be very important to see prices trading consistently above it. The uptrend, the uptrend line from October, it's around here, 50 to 60 this week. So this could work as a resistance this time. So it would be important to overcome here to get things clear, to clear the move, and maybe head towards 71, 73, 81, and 90. Remembering that it would be crucial to overcome the 96, 95, the 100, let's say, to unlock maybe the move, the continuity of the move. And what we've seen, let's come to the platform. What we're seeing so far is buyers putting pressure again. We're opening with 0.40 positive territory, 0.40, buyers putting pressure and sellers defending the 60. let's see, since after that those so many sessions, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sessions, kind of not sideways, but trading around the 200 days moving average. Let's see if this last Friday's move was enough to unlock. If it got, yep, Aaron, it headed high of overnight actually. Let's see if it will, prices will be able to work or to keep moving upwards, and let's see how it will behave, because we've seen maybe 5, 7 sessions or 10 sessions before a high volatility in the beginning. So last week we've seen for 2 or 3 sessions a tight start, 30, 40 minutes, displacing only 10 points, 7, 10 points. So we had a tight start with a bit lower volatility, and trading initially in a tight region. So since we overcome an important region and reached actually an important region at the same time, let's see if we can get any perception this session, because I always try to pay even more attention on Mondays, because there were 2 days with no session. Sometimes you have developments even during the weekend. Players had more time to make their calculations, and so especially Mondays, I think that it's interesting to pay even more attention to try to identify if we'll get a different pattern, or if players will, anyway, observing if we can grab something to different from what we're seeing. We have this strong defense on 64. Defense on 64. We mentioned 657. 6257 was also an important region I was looking at. Let's see. There was a clear defense in 65, but with there was not an exhaustion there. So let's see if buyers will be able to keep pushing. We're seeing here from 62.5 to 64 is right the region of their trying. 62.25 here, sellers made aggressive orders absorbed by buyers. So we're okay, it's only 6 minutes, but prices started upwards. We are seeing activity from both sides. So let's see who is going to win. Just let me copy the value area. I like to make this yellow box is the value area. I always bring to my screens. It's an important reference I use. Oh, it's up there. Let's see what's going to. So far, we've seen it confirmed what we have noted before, the interest, players' interest in the region of 60 to 65. I always like to see our points working. It reinforces our hard job of getting studying, to assessing this information and making a careful list of them and keeping for a long time, because it doesn't matter. Sometimes we use a point maybe a month or 2 months later. it could work again. So it's always important, even though if you can get lots of points, I like having them, not to get crazy looking at, but to have just an eye on it, on them, and follow the activity and see the activity, the flow will show me. I'll just make a change here. I will put a 2 minute here. I intend to make a I intend to make an example. Some guys asking me about this. So I will put this session as I will put the 4,000 tick left down, left corner in the bottom, and 2 minute in the top corner, top left corner. So as we can real time see the difference for them. Something I've mentioned in this weekend video is that the ticks give us usually more important, more info. So we're seeing here we have 5, 6 candles in 2 minutes, and maybe 10, almost 12, 3, 6, 9, 12 here, especially when in a volatile environment. This can filter some some of the moves. Usually have smaller shadows. So let have both of them here in place. Higher lows. Aaron is mentioning about making higher lows. Actually, kind of, it's if we see here in the 4,000 ticks, we have more candles. Not sure if other guys will be able to see the chat when watching the recorded video, but Aaron just mentioned about this higher lows key, this higher lows here. We just touch it again. We could make this line here and press the just touch it this. This kind of shadow is something that I usually take as as relevant because it was such a downward move and then quickly, this means a quick reaction. So I respect this. When I see this kind, especially if it's in a bottom, it shows me that it could be likely, in the case of a breakout favorable to the trend, it could be maybe more likely to be a true one than a false one. But we're seeing that it was able to run just 1 point. This is not actually a surprise, as I've mentioned before, because this is an important region, 65 to 67 is an important region. And then after it, I have for 71 to 73. Let's see if it will respect here, or how long buyers will be able to keep pushing. Now here we have this, we had the breakout from, just let me clear my box here. We had the breakout from the previous high at 65.25. It just reached 766, and now we just 46 contracts, if you see here in the volumetric bars, with an exhaustion. Now we had an exhaustion, so this is something I don't like seeing when expecting a breakout. When I have a breakout and see this, a breakout of 0.75 points, 0.75 points, uh, no blocks, no lack of big blocks, and the buyers exhausting right above the breakout. Does not mean necessarily that a reversal will take place, but this is a clear signal of temporarily weakness at least, or at least a lack of conviction they had at that try. If not able now to even reach the the 575, could confirm the weakness or even another exhaustion there. But as it's been usual in latest times, things are not that pretty plain. I mean, it's not been easy. The moves are not, all this indecision we are seeing the market make things a bit more difficult to read. Things get shaking, and sometimes we're, or many times we're trying to get evidence or to reach conclusions, but it's not been that easy or quick. But we're seeing here, it was, now we had an exhaustion here, 700, 500, 240. Let me take a note of the hour. I will make a video about this probably. An exhaustion over there. We had the high in 60. Now we had another exhaustion over there with 700, 500, 240 contracts. This is a classical exhaustion. And when we see, we had the first try, and then you had second try this way. Usually the opposite side, the opponent that see such a kind of fail of the opponent usually does not forgive. They take the opportunity and put pressure. This time we would have at least 5, 6 points. That could be maybe more than a scalping trade. But we see here. See, look at here in the volumetric bar, the absorption, selling absorption here. We've seen that sellers took at, took the lead over there and push price to 60 and putting pressure and absorbing when buyers try to defend. This is an interesting move to see. It's a kind of the beginning of the range. We know that 16 is important, so we could see buyers winning here, and we could see prices within this kind of range it's forming here. But if we see prices losing the 60, then we could turn on a yellow light just to see that we've reached an important region that worked, an important resistance. But let's see, strong defense in the 60. Let's see if buyers will be able to overcome. We're seeing a clear absorption, a clear barrier. Buyers are putting here. Let's see if they will sell. If different from what buyers have made up there, if trading below the 58, sellers will keep putting pressure, will keep making aggressive orders. Was what have lacked for buyers up there. Again, sellers absorbing, but strong buying intensity. Look here, 1,500 contracts. It's not that usual. It's a good struggle, but buyers absorbing. So impossible to say anything. We're seeing that both sides keep strong, and the 60 has definitely an interest, a region of interest, a region of interest from both. Yeah, Aaron is mentioning about the absorption. Yes, for me, it's almost, I cannot think in trading without looking this volumetric bars, this or the footprint chart. It tells us a lot. So for you guys that usually see my transmissions, look how we would be losing interesting info if only looking at the chart of a time chart. The tickets tech chart it's better, but even the ticket's not so effective this way. So we should, for me, especially in this movement, in this moment we are living, it's clear that joining or mixing or trading, looking at both the minute or tick and the footprint is actually the best option. Let's see. We have a this third volumetric candle here, volumetric bar. We're seeing we're going from 55 to 66. So it's an 11-point range. Now we are almost in its middle, and a great struggle. Good battle in the middle. Lots of selling aggressive orders, but buyers absorbing. Lots of buyer aggressive orders, but sellers absorbed. So we are, the uncertainty keeps, but it's important to see that we're seeing this struggle, but in a level, in an upper level, isn't it? So what we're seeing is that buyers were able to keep putting pressure. It's not easy for them. Things are not that easy for them, but they're being able so far to hold prices not only above the value area high that is here, but also they've been able to hold and not letting sellers push price down from the 60. Let's see from this 60 to 65 until when we're going to trade here. In fact, there's something to be released now in at 10 factory orders. Not sure if it will. It's an indicator that I usually do not look at, but let's see if it will bring some additional noise. Maybe not, but let's just watch out at 10. Let's see now. It's kind of not that much contracts, few contracts this move, and we're reaching the 64. Let's see this time if we are going to be able to trade above the 64, even though we've reached 6675, but the 4 was the core of the defense. If we see buyers absorbing sellers aggressions here, it would be a bullish signal. This is what we're seeing. Buyers absorption. We're trading positive, close to the high, and buyers absorbing. This shows that this increase the probability. This obviously do not confirm, but increase the probability of the continuity of the move, or at least show that it's possible to continue. I like trading end of range. Here is a kind of end of the range, but this is a condition that I wouldn't do a short anyway, because we're seeing this, for me, shows that buyers are strong and it could work. The breakout could work. And so I would avoid trading here, but we're seeing its region is very struggled. So going up there and failing, the reaction can always lead to a good move on the opposite side. But now we didn't see exhaustion here, and we've seen buyers absorbing also in this first level, even though it was not the high, but is almost there. But on the other hand, if we keep trading for much time here that is below the high and fail, each candle, additional candle price keeps trading here, gets more hope to sellers. So when we see good struggle there and failing to overcome, failing to break out, sometimes can lead to quick moves in the opposite side, opposite direction. Let's see, we have the view up in 4061. As I mentioned, usually for me the view up is actually a good reference. I like looking at it, but I prefer to do it after 40, maybe 1 hour of session. I think it gets more relevance as the session goes. We're seeing here the activity in the 60, in the 64. Buyers making aggressive orders, sellers absorbing, sellers reacting, and buyers absorbing. So this is actually a good a good beta, and we're seeing that now buyers are failing, are not being able to push, to make a new high, to push. So trading, we see this absorption here in 63. Trading below this could lead at least to 60, or maybe here in the 59.75, a test here. Yeah, and using 5 minutes, in 3 minutes now, Aaron, actually. Aaron is telling that he's wondering why it's so slow. I think that my stance is that actually players, it's, yes, US factory orders. Let's see. But I've mentioned about the 63. Let's see if to reach the 60 or even the 59 here, 58. We are right here in the view up. Let's see if there will be a test in the 60. But now, the same way sellers holding the 65 there, here buyers are defending above the 60 in the 61. But I think that what we are seeing, even in the latest two sessions that we've seen that they were actually bullish, we are not seeing huge breakouts, huge movements, not even upwards, and not either upwards or downwards. My reading is that no one knows what's the okay, we never know. No one never knows what is going to happen or what will happen. But players always work with probability. But it's too complicated. I understand that this conflict of recession, inflation, we need to avoid the recession, but at the same time, if depending of the kind of growth, if we have an inflation, it means that interest rate will need to keep in higher levels. So it's an important issue, and no one have clue. So each data is anxiously waited, and every time I was thinking, okay, let's see, there will be some data to be released, maybe this can give some light and players will decide. But I'm almost forgiven about this because there's, don't know, a month I'm telling this, and we have an indicator that sometimes make things a bit bullish, but in the other days or a couple of hours later, or in the other day, there's another one that make things bearish. And I think that is that duality. I don't want to miss opportunity, but at the same time, I have no conviction to take any relevant or very significant decision. Let's see here. We clearly have a range from 59 to 65. Let's see until when it's going to last, and when broken, which will be the side to win. For the guys that asked about the example for what the subject of latest videos, tick versus time based. Look here. Here we have so far good interesting example. Look at the size of the shadows in 2-minute chart compared to the ones here in the 4 tick charts. Okay, we're seeing more candles. That is helpful for us to in terms of giving indications, and at the same time lower smaller shadows. So in 2 minute, big shadows. In theory, we see the volatility gets more clearer, but here in the 2 minute we can kind of filter this. Here, look at what we were talking last week. Uh, 35 minutes almost and 11 points. in the opening, I was also mentioning about this. Uh, it opened, we just had an indicator and prices ranging here. So let's see. So based on what we've seen on previous sessions, what would be the scenarios I could be? Yeah, yeah, you are right, Aaron. You're near the highs. Based on what we've seen in the latest sessions, we could see uh, it would not be a surprise if we see here, if we see prices overcoming, if we see a breakout here, it moving 3 to 4 points and start ranging again, or even downwards in the case of breaking out down here, we could see a breakout and then price just running 3 to 4 points, then sideways again. So let's see. Yep, buyers keep coming, the lows to support. Yes, we're seeing here. Let me put this line here. Buyers are actually being able to hold prices. Lows are getting higher, and we have seen buyers fail it up there, then sellers fail it down here, but at the same time, we are seeing things getting narrower upward. So look at the size of the absorption. Buyers putting a huge pressure, but sellers absorbing. Yeah, we are seeing huge liquidity up here, even though buyers have a strong appetite today. It was not that usual in the recent sessions. Yeah, it was a huge absorption. And this is the kind of absorption that if breaking up, if breaking out upwards, it could maybe the higher the absorption, the higher the struggle here, when moving upwards, it could be not necessarily run, displace many points, but it could mean that this region have been overcome. But at the same time, the case of failing, for me, it's also a signal that if moving in the opposite direction could also lead to a strong move. We're seeing again, but actually, from what we're seeing sellers active, but considering the region they are trading, buyers are definitely stronger so far. Yeah, Aaron telling about this short here, this long absorption here need to be covered in the case of breaking out. Yes, definitely. Many people would need to close here. Yeah, understand, but even not seeing the cumulative delta, Aaron, today it's a bit easier to see that actually buyers are sometimes things get a bit it's not that clear without the indicator, but today it's clear that they're being able to, not only the session started in a bullish region, and that they were also being able to make a support upper and upper. Then it's interesting. But let's see. My next reference here is 71 to 73. Let's see if it will work. The previous one, 65 to 7, 62 and 5 to 7 worked. Let's see here if 71 to 73 will work as well. And we see here that we had the breakout in 65, and sellers are trying to put pressure, but buyers absorbing. So this usually confirms the strength. And as I've told before, this kind of situation we had here from 64 to 66, this is a huge bait to lots of absorption from both sides, sellers trying to defend. So when such a region is overcome, when definitely overcome, is a signal that that side, the winning side, is significantly stronger than the previous one. So in this kind of situation, if we had in a bit calmer times, it would be a trade I would consider. Now we've seen a huge defense, a huge exhaustion in 73. When I see big candles in tick chart, it grabs my attention as well. Sometimes things are so fast that we can even understand what happened. I'm trying to. I don't know, 73. Yeah, actually, 73 to 75. Yeah, I didn't remember this, but let's see now if here the 69 will be a 69. In a normal situation, this would be a trade I would consider. I like doing. We had this mess here. It's a clear and strong range, clear and big range. Then when it's overcome, when it's overcome, and we see this such a big absorptions, buying absorption above this many times is a good signal for me to try to search for long trades down in the possible bottom of this new range. Uh, Here we've had here a clear exhaustion 73.75. Let's see here, 71, 73 was the region I was looking at. So overcoming the 71, I would have the 81 and 90. So this 71, we see that after this we have a 10 point and then a 10 point space. So it could be actually disputed here. We see struggle here until the 73. But let's see if different from the other times, if in the case of overcoming here, if we could see reaching the 70, the 81. Let's see. But so far, it kind of confirms the profile we've been detecting. There's a breakout, and things get keeps struggled, keeps the fight remains. Guys keep making aggressions, just keep seeing aggressions from every side, and because the scenario I like, I was mentioning. So we have this range, then there's a breakout, an interesting displacement, there's a defense, and then start seeing absorption. When we are in trend, this is really like, because this is a trade that I usually can hold a bit longer than usual. But what we are seeing is that there's the breakout, then we start seeing absorptions from both sides. No one can prevail that long, so much time. And guys, hey guys, just remembering, if you're liking, just leave your like there. It's interesting. So if liking, I would just remember to leave this. So now we're seeing a tighter range from 69 to 72. Let's see how it will. But now here, let's see, right? Let's see. We keep in the same. If we look here, we keep seeing the previous profile, but in a smaller scale. Sellers kept pushing downwards, putting pressure, but buyers able to hold in upper and upper levels. Let's see here the 73, 3.75, 375. Let's see if it will be reached again, or if we'll have a fail like this one. Just let me clear this line. It's not even after the breakout, it's not reaching the moving average. This is something I like looking at. When it breaks out, when prices breaks out a region, not always, but many times it makes the kind of pull back and come and make a test around the moving average. So since it's too markets to technical respect this kind of indications, I like looking at this, but not necessarily to make to get to leave a limit order here, but I like looking at the average, and when I see prices getting closer, I start looking at the activity in the volumetric bars to see how it's behaving, and to see in the moving average an exhaustion, or when I see an opposite direction aggression, then I like entering. And this is something that many times we can hold a bit longer. Buyers putting pressure up here, sellers defending, and buyers absorbing again. Buyers absorbing. So we're seeing so far in this almost 50 minutes of session, we're seeing the week starting with the same bullish mood last one finished. Overcame the 773. Let's see if it's going to, in theory, it could have clear way until the 81. based on the volume traded before. Okay, it just made a new high, sellers defending and buyers absorbing huge amounts. I think for this bullish perspective, it would be really important to trade consistently above the 4060. It would be interesting as well to have a close above it. If we trade above the 4060 and have a close above it today, it would be an interesting signal for the week. Remembering that tomorrow there will be Powell speaking. Is it tomorrow? Yeah, tomorrow at 10. There will be Powell speaking. So as usual, it could add volatility. Here the exhaustion. We are moving upwards and just 7 contracts bought here. This exhaustion lets room to to buyers to try a quick reaction, and sometimes leads to good quick scalpings when it happens. But look at here again. Buyers now defending in an upper level. This is a clear configuration of the uptrend. The uptrend that we started seeing, and we was, even when not in actually in an uptrend, we are seeing this prevalence of buyers. Let's see if it's going to maybe make a big range from 69 to 76, or if it will remain this as an independent range and price skip from there. But after this activity in the 76, moving upwards and other exhaustion below 78, or other failing to make a new high, then when turning back again to 75 could lead to a good short here. It's something I would consider. Let's see here in the 70 71. Now is interesting to observe. Let's see if it's going to reach here. This is the 4,000 tick chart. We have the average here in the 47.1 that I would have the reference to look at volumetric bars. And additionally, now this is the base of this range. So it's a region that I would definitely be looking. Aaron's stating that selling response here seems weak. Yes, response is weak, but we didn't see buyers were not that aggressive also in the absorptions. I mean, okay, I agree that sellers, I think I would say that, trying to reformulate, that both sellers and buyers kind of took a time. There were no big absorptions as well because sellers did not make such big aggressive orders. So sellers didn't had to make huge absorptions, and but also didn't make relevant aggressive orders. We see here price reached the 775, almost the moving average, but for me a bit far from the 70, considering my stop is too tight, 2 or 3 points. I wouldn't do a try here. Okay, there was an absorption, but it would be far for me. I would prefer to see something, to see price reaching the 70, maybe trying below here and failing with a preferably an exhaustion, and then entering strong bullish action. I is the kind of pattern I would like seeing. But this fail to reach the 70 is another bullish signal. Bulls were able to hold the move above the base of the previous range. This another confirmation that bulls remains doing what they were doing before, being able to stop selling action before the previous support, before prices reach the previous support. Let's see now the 76. Failing here, the case of bulls failing here in the 76, things would me possibly start getting complicated for them. Or then we could see prices ranging from 70 to 76, but does not necessarily mean that a fail here would lead to a reversal, but failing here could lead to a new test to 70. Let's see if it will get ranging here. But still, we're seeing in this volumetric bars here, a lot of tries of sellers to defend, but buyers actively defending, actively absorbing. So taking this time to just to continue the subject of my video of the weekend. Today you have a 2 minute chart at the top and 5,000 ticks chart in the bottom. So look the difference, how the shadows are bigger, tend to be bigger and are bigger here in the 2 minute. We have more candles here, and having more candles due to the more trades, we tend to have lower, smaller shadows, and then candles become more representative for us, even within maybe if we see here, for example, these three green candles, even if it happens within a 1 minute, for example, inside one candle, this tree is not meaningful because we know that were 4,000 trades in each of them. Then this is very representative, and in this case, too bullish, different to see. such the same configuration, the same pattern in time, you wouldn't have a clue about the volume or if you could trust it. Or then in the same time window, in the same time lapse, we have much more candles, and that for me tend to be much more helpful. Struggling again here in the 76 in the top of the, but now we're seeing, and sometimes I like looking at this index, because to see this kind of condition I like looking at the time chart, which is the third candle struggling in a resistance that is right below last top. Then I like, in this case, I like seeing the time reference. When you spend lots of time doing this, it's not unusual to see. It does not necessarily mean a reversal, but it's not unusual to see at least a correction. And since I'm a scalper, I like to make a quick trades, or I don't hold trades. This many times lead to good counter trend opportunity. And then many times, if the other side is actually strong, it can lead to good opportunities in the opposite side. For example, in the base of the range, in this case. But this is something that I definitely look at. We had a high. I always say that we need to understand the context. It's not a picture, but it's a film. It's kind of motion picture. In this case, we had the high that I just realized it. I missed this information that is really important, and I take into consideration resistance one it was in 47.7. So this would definitely be a region to look at. We've made a high. Now prices are suffering below it. So prices are suffering to overcome another region that have been highly traded. So this is not unusual to also to lead to good opportunities in the other way, but most of times they're risky because market is still bullish. Then for a small stop, it can quickly get stopped and move. So it's a risky trade that sometimes I need to have things clear, very clear, but it's actually risky. Yeah, we're right in the high of the range. And again, sellers are not, this time sellers are not being able to push downwards. Huh? We see 4,000 contracts, this green candle here is meaningful as well. It was ranging, but this candle shows that buyers increased their action. So guys, just realize it that it's 6 minutes of transmission. I will be finishing around here. Thanks again for watching. Any doubts, just drop a comment that I will be glad to answer as soon as possible. There were some guys watching here in the live transmission, but as always, Aaron is always from start to finish. So Aaron, thanks for be always joining. It's good to have you here. And also, thanks for your comments. Always pertinent and interesting to discuss and to not only support me, but to lead to good comments to the other guys watching. That's it, man. Thank you. Take care as well. Have a nice session. And tomorrow we'll be here again. Let's meet here tomorrow. Obrigado, Aaron. Um abraço e até amanhã.